Hey everyone, Presito here. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Ethscriptions, which I'm sure some of you have seen pop up. The hype is picking up quite a bit for them. As you can see here on their OpenSea page, at the moment, I'm sure it's over 2,500 items listed. Volume, I'm sure, is over 150 Ethereum at the moment. So the hype is definitely picked up. The question is it still early? Is it still worth getting into it? As you know, stamps are around 60, 70,000. Ordinals is way more. So this, you can imagine, is quite early, but it depends, obviously. We need to look into Ethscriptions, understand what it's all about, and if it's even worth getting into it, if it's even worth having this protocol. So what I'm going to be covering in this video, firstly, what are Ethscriptions? How do you get into it? How do you create them and trade them? And what are the benefits and what are the downsides of this protocol? So basically, Ethscriptions are on-chain digital artifacts stored on the Ethereum blockchain using transaction call data. And it's not a smart contract. So that's something that's really important. And you could see it as a plus side or a downside, and we'll discuss more about that a bit later. So let's have a look at the founder. As you can see, Middle March on Twitter, Dumb Name Numbers is his handle if you want to follow him. So he's a protocol creator. So that might make you think it's a bit centralized. That could be a downside, but I'll cover more about that a bit later. So if we have a look at his thread at how it works. So their website is ethscriptions.com. We'll go to that a bit later. But they also created Ethereum punks, which if we go to the Ethereum Punks website, you can see they had 10,000 of them and they all were Ethscribed, and they're actually trading at the moment on OpenSea. And you can see the last sales are actually quite significant. Some people over 1 Ethereum per sale. So you can see they actually performed really well. Anyway, let's go over the explanation of how Ethscriptions work, explained by the founder himself. So as he says here, how do Ethscriptions work? Any successful Ethereum transaction whose input data, when interpreted as UTF-8, is a valid data URI, creates an Ethscription provided the data URI is unique. Duplicate content is ignored. All valid MIME types are supported. For the URI to be unique, no Ethscription from a previous block or a transaction earlier in the same block can have the same content. Any Ethereum transaction whose input data is the transaction hash of a valid Ethscription is a valid Ethscription transfer, provided the transaction sender is a Ethscription owner. The recipient of the creation transaction is the Ethscription's initial owner. The sender of the creation transaction is the Ethscription's creator. I must say, Ethscription is starting to feel very weird to say. It's not that easy of a word to say, to be honest. I don't know if it's going to pick up because of that. But that all sounds very complicated. And to be honest, I did not understand much about that. And I'm sure many won't, so that's a bit concerning. But anyways, let's have a look now at how you can get into this. So what are the ways you can participate in the Ethscriptions ecosystem if you want to? So of course, there's Ethereum punks. Obviously, you don't want to just buy any random Ethscription listed here, because anyone can list it. So yes, there's 2,790 items, but which ones are actually official ones? For example, Ethereum punks is official, so you can buy those. But you have to consider what the price is at the moment and whether you think it's going to go up or not. Obviously, I can't give advice on that, as I'm not sure that Ethscriptions will take off. And I'll give some reasons later. Then how else can you get involved? You can mint your own ones, and you can look for new legit collections coming out from projects building Ethscriptions, which I'm sure will be popping up sooner rather than later. Anyways, let's have a look at how you can create one and trade them. So first up, you're going to want to go to the ethscriptions.com website and go to create. So to create an Ethscription, you choose an image and click Ethscribe. So for example, on your computer, you have to choose the image below a certain file size. Then you click on Ethscribe. Then I'm not going to do the whole process because it takes a while to load and it will be a bit time consuming to wait for it. So anyways, I'm going to keep it concise and simple. So you just need to follow the steps I say. So you upload the image, you click Ethscribe. Once that is done, you go to your profile and you can see your Ethscription there. This is how it will look with a transfer Ethscription option. Then you're going to want to go to Emblem Vault, which is emblem.finance. Make sure you're going to the right websites for all of this. And also keep in mind, use a throwaway wallet for all of these, create a new one and do all of this. So choose curated collection. So here you're going to choose Ethscription. you will tick this, and then you click on Create Ethscription Vault. Once it has loaded, after clicking on this, you're going to want to click on Approve Creating/Burning Vault and approve it in your wallet. Then the page will reload. Then click on Ethereum. There'll be a Eth wallet that you can click and it'll pop up. And then you copy that Ethereum address and then you transfer the inscription to this. And that you do that by going back to this page where it says transfer Ethscription, sorry. And then you paste the wallet address and then you transfer it to that and approve in your wallet and so on. Then once it's transferred, you go back on Emblem Finance and you click Mint Vault. Then you sign and approve the transaction and then it's done. Then you can go view it on OpenSea. And to keep in mind, if you can't see your image that you Ethscribed, you can refresh the metadata by clicking the 3 buttons on the top right, and then it should pop up. So that is how you create an inscription. So in my opinion, it's not as simple as other protocols. And also using Emblem Vaults isn't that user-friendly at the moment, in my opinion. But we'll see how things go. And yeah, so here you can see the collections, and then you'll be able to see your Ethscription pop up here. Anyways, let's move on and have a look at the benefits of Ethscriptions. And it was actually a bit tough to find, to be honest, but from the founder himself, these are what the benefits are. So he answers a question, why is this a thing? Because some people are confused why it even has to exist. He says it's cheaper and more decentralized in using contract storage. Also, protocol guarantees global uniqueness of the content of all valid inscriptions, plus it's skating to where the puck is going in an L2 world. And they also explain a bit more on L2s. And he says L2s and inscriptions both treat Ethereum as a data dump. And since everyone thinks L2s are the only way Ethereum can scale and succeed, we must admit that Ethereum's real use case is a data store, not as a thing that executes code. So that could be a bit controversial. But if we look at the downsides, as you can see, according to Bob, he says inscriptions fall into the worst of both worlds category. You can't use smart contracts with them. You pay 67% more for storage compared to Bitcoin, and it adds a huge centralization with off-chain indexer. So he says there's nothing cool about storing images in the data field of Ethereum transactions, and that on Bitcoin you can already do that and it's a lot cheaper. So that makes sense to me. And also what Chainleft is saying here, he says it's cool that people are discovering this, but this was always possible. And it says here, Def Beef, Oxymon did this ages ago, and they use cold data to store allowless Merkle proofs for fully on-chain mint site too. And one big thing is that call data isn't immutable, and it's likely to be the first to get purged with EIP 4444. So this is obviously basically getting pruned, and if that happens, then it was all for nothing. So that is really a big concern when it comes to inscriptions. So next up also here, Bodega says, generally curious. I love new tech and playing around with it, but it seems unnecessary for Ethereum. Smart contracts solve so many problems that they've seen in ordinals, and it seems counterintuitive on Ethereum, which, to be honest, I kind of agree with that, because on Ethereum you have smart contracts to solve everything. On Bitcoin you don't. And if there was smart contracts on Bitcoin, people would use that instead of the whole ordinals movement. So that is definitely something to keep in mind. And it says trying to figure out what problem they solve compared to NFTs, since NFTs you can pretty much do anything with already. Next up, I recommend you guys to follow this guy. He helped with a lot of the info I used in making this video. You can see that he's involved quite a lot with Emblem Vault and so on. So definitely check him out. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful and learned something. I'd appreciate if you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Join my Telegram as well. Follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.